Okay, beautiful souls. As promised, I have my very special guest, the beautiful Heather Haywood. Let's see if she is there. Heather, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, so honoured, so happy to have you on the show with us. And Heather, my goodness, you've got quite a body of work. You're a band member with the Cool Notes, and you've got solo work and what have you. So we've got so much to get through. But before we go there, I have got lots of questions for you. But can you just tell people a little bit about your background? Just start where you feel comfortable and give as much or as little as you please.
Right, my background. Let's start with my parents, both from Barbados. So, I'm from a Bajan selection. I started singing, not from the church. This is what everybody normally says, but I didn't start singing from the church. I started singing from school. I did all the school plays and everything else. And I joined my first band at school, actually. I was about 13. And then I went on and we did a few shows and stuff. Went into some clubs which we weren't allowed in, basically. But, we were underage at the time. But anyhow, moved on from there, saw an audition in the Black Echoes newspaper back in the day. I was about 15 at the time. It was for a singer for a band. I didn't know who the band was at the time. I'm at school still, and plus as well, I wasn't allowed to do these things because my father was most pro. He was, he always thought about, education first. Education, nothing else but education. So anyhow, it was a couple of friends of mine that said to me, Heather, you're an amazing singer. You need to go for this. I said, I can't. I said, I'm going to be in trouble. My father, he was very strict, very strict. Anyway, so they said, no, we'll come with you. So I said, okay, all right. So we went straight off from school, straight to the rehearsal. And, one of the girls came with me, not both of them. I mean, one. No, I had that support. I needed it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I told them that if one of them didn't come, I wasn't going anyway. So anyway, got to because I lived in southeast London. I lived in East Dulwich at the time. And the other guys are from Brixton and Clapham. Right. So that's where they were from. Uh-huh. So I had to, travel down there straight from school, the girls in tow, got to our drummer's house, Joe, OBJ, and that's where the audition was, sat in his living room, and I kept hearing these people singing, these different girls singing. I said to them, I'm not going to get into that band. Their voices are really good. Uh-huh. And then one left and one came. And then they asked me to come into the room, and I brought a song. But I didn't know they were a reggae band at that time, They said they were looking for a singer. So, because I was mostly, I just love soul. And, that was my genre. That's what I wanted to be. That was my everything. So anyhow, got into the room. They said, what song do you want to sing? So I told them. I gave them the song. And they started playing it. But they said, we're not going to play it the way you think you're going to play it. So I think they've changed it into a reggae lick. So, like a lover's lick. Right. So I thought, okay, where am I going to go with this? Oh, I'm not used to reggae. Stuff like that. But anyway, got through it. It was amazing. And I thought it was really good. Went back into the room. And then Steve, who's the leader of the band, he's the keyboard player, he came out and said to me, we'd like to offer you the place with the band if you'd like it. My heart, I didn't think I was going to get it because I was ready to go home, don't have to say anything to my dad because now I have to find an excuse to say to him, I've just joined the band and you're not going to like it very much and I'm going to be in serious trouble. Anyway, I joined the band. And that was it. That's history. Rehearsals, still going to school. And then going to gigs as well from, then having to go to school. Back in the day, you had to work. You had to literally work for your craft. So, rehearsals, everybody had to be there. Everybody had to input everything. And then if you're doing a gig, we were in, minibuses or back in the trucks or cars and stuff, going up to Birmingham, Manchester, Sheffield.
Wow.
And back in those days, it used to take forever to get to wherever you're going. Now you can just zoom. But, we had our managers and our road managers who used to drive us there. And it used to take like 8 hours or 4 or 5 hours to get to Birmingham. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. We do our gig, come home, I'm shattered because most of the gigs were on like some on a Sunday. Had to go to school the next day, so I used to roll in and roll off to school. So it was like a chore, but it was fun doing it back then and working with the band and getting to know the band. The band evolved. There used to be 3 girls in the beginning. Lorraine was, when I first joined the band, Lorraine was the only other singer that was left. 2 other girls have left the band, so they're looking for another singer just to replace the other 2. And so I joined, and the nucleus of the band started, which was me. But we've evolved, the band evolved so many times. Different musicians and stuff came and went. One passed away as well. And then, lo and behold, by the time, when I first joined the band, they were already recording a song called My Tune. That was, we did it at Eddie Grant's studio in Stamford Hill. And that was amazing because when the guys actually, started playing there and Eddie Grant giving us his input and everything else, it was because, Eddie Grant was a major figure at the time, and us working with him as well, his brother as well, Rudy. So, yeah. So moving on from there, My Tune, we had several other songs that we were doing as well. But My Tune was the first one that I did with the Cool Notes. And it wasn't released at that time. It hadn't been released in 1980, I think it was. And it was actually released on Jammer Records. But it was it obviously went really massive. In the charts and stuff. It went to number 1 in the reggae charts. It stayed there for like 6 weeks, and so. But back then you don't really get hyped about being singing. It just came as as nothing. You were just in it because you wanted something to do. You wanted something to do, and it was a hobby at the time. And I didn't think it was going to get to the scale that it got to, but it did, because when we transitioned, after we did My Tune, Lorraine and myself, we had solo songs as well. And we had I did a song called I Will Always Love You, Baby, that one. And Lorraine did one called I've Got to Let Him Know, I've Got to Let Him Know. So those were, but they were on, that was our solo thing within the Cool Notes itself. Stephen had a company called Mass Media with 2 other friends of his, and we recorded on that. So we had like a little thing going in between that as well. So we had, big hits with those 2 songs as well. And then we did songs like It's Not Unusual to Live Love. So we did cover versions. We did Baby After Tonight. Matumbi track as well. A lot of people didn't know that we covered that track, but I saw Dennis last year, and he basically asked if we still got the tape for it, because he wanted to do something with it as well. That's Dennis Vogel. But yeah, coming back to the Cool Notes now, transitioning from a reggae to a soul band. Because we used to do so many gigs up and down the M1, from here, there, Sheffield, back. We weren't really earning any money. We were basically getting ripped off every time we went out. We were kids. We were kids at the time. So people thought that you can get to a gig, and at the end of that, after you finish working hard and doing your thing and enjoying yourself, they say, oh, we didn't make enough money, so we'll give you like 50 we'll give you £50 and you can go home. Oh, it used to break our hearts. That just about put petrol in to get us home and things like that. But, we learned the hard way. We learned the craft back then, basically. We enjoyed what we did because we met so many people along the way. I also, I think it was 1980. We did. We had a spot at the place called the George Canning. It's now called the Hootenanny down in Brixton. We did we had like a little spot. Some, we wanted to have it as do a rehearsal. So the owner of the place said, okay, you can come and rehearse here, but the thing is, you've got people listening to you. But it turned out that with that rehearsal, we had a big following. So every week, every Friday, we would have everybody coming to see the Cool Notes. We had people, we had Lee John, we had everybody, Soul to Soul, some of the Soul to Soul guys and stuff like that. So we would have looking from everybody. Everybody came down just to see what was going on. So, we maneuvered ourselves from where we were as a reggae band into a soul band. That's when we started transitioning there. And once we transitioned, we did songs like I Want to Dance on the Sour Grapes record. It's called I Wanna Dance with You. Right now, that's a big track in France and places like that. That's what they know us for over there. And then we went on to things like I Forgot, which is on the back of I think my tune, or is it on the back of I Want to Dance? Only one of those two. And then we went on to doing Never Too Young. You're never too young to fall in love. So yeah, that was the first big hit that we had when we transitioned from reggae to soul. So we had a major hit with that. It went to number 42, just outside the national charts, which was, really sad because we thought we was going to actually make it. Oh, before I say that, my tune, actually, we had it with Warner Brothers picked it up, and it charted. But unfortunately, the way it charted, back in those days, they'd buy it at the shops that were like chart shops. So, but what they call the word gazumped or something like it, or whatever it is, they got into the charts by where to buy where the chart shops were. So a lot of people would go and buy maybe 50 or maybe 20, so it was a bit illegal. So it didn't actually it got to number 40, but then it got checked out because of that. But many things happened back then in those days. That was in 1981 or something like it, 82. But anyway, after 1984, then, because Never Too Young didn't quite make it, we moved to the next track, which was Spend the Night. Spend the Night was it was a track, I think Stephen wrote it for Lorraine at the time, and Lorraine didn't want to sing it. I don't know why. But anyhow, so maybe it wasn't for her. Maybe, I don't know. But anyhow, he said to me, well, you can sing it. So I said, okay, I'll sing it. I don't mind singing. Because I didn't really do a lot of singing back then and stuff. Because I think a lot of the stuff was normally for Lorraine because she was the main singer in the band when I first joined. So anyway, when we recorded that song, we did that down in East London at the big recording studio down there. I think it was Lindsay Wesker that was Lindsay Wesker that was in one of the rooms. He came in and he heard the track and he said, no, it wasn't Lindsay Wesker, it was somebody else. But it was another DJ. Anyhow, he said, who's that? Is that who's singing that? Where's this music come from? Because it sounded very American at the time. And so he said, wow, that's going to be a massive hit. So when we started, because we had the Pirates behind us, every time we did something from Never Too Young and I Forgot, we were doing all the different pirate radio stations. We did PAs PAs up and down, the M1, wherever there was a PA going, the cool notes would be there. We became the hardest working PA band in the whole wide world. I think that's what it was. We weren't earning any money from it, but the radio stations, the pirate state. Yeah, the pirate stations were helping us. They made us, basically, Back in the day, that's what we got a lot to be thankful for, was the pirate stations. Spend the Night was the pirate stations pushed that song straight into the national charts, because the main and the independent radio stations like Capital and all the other little stations were playing Spend the Night, but Radio 1 wasn't playing it. And we wanted them to play it, but they didn't play it. But when I think we were going to a gig at the time when we heard that the song had actually entered into the top 40 at number 40. It was so surreal. It was unreal for us at the time. It's everything that most people work for, but when you actually hear it happen, and then you hear it on Radio 1, and brand new, top in the national charts at number 40, the cool notes, wow, and then you hear your song being played. How amazing is that? That was, and we were only young, because I joined the band when I was 15, and then 18, 19, you're becoming big. 18, 19, 20, you're becoming like superstars already. So when you look back on things and how it happened, we didn't have time to sort of soak it all in at the time, because we were a working band. We were doing gigs, so. And it's not like today where you get pushed when you sign with a major company. We didn't actually sign with a major recording company. Our manager, we had two managers, Stephen McIntosh, who was the leader of the band. His father was our personal manager. But then we needed another manager, which was our business manager, Edward Christie. He came on board. He saw something that was there. And he had a label as well, Abstract Dance. But unfortunately, our stuff was always on Abstract Dance. But all the majors at the same time wanted us, but we didn't know why we weren't, getting the deals. But in the end, we found out the reason in the end, that from a lot of the majors, the reason why it was getting blocked. Our manager at the time wanted us. He wanted to be the main record label and just loan the record to them. So, but they didn't want that. They didn't want it that way. So hence, this is what happened with us. We even worked with Whitney Houston. We were in Germany, and quite a few stars we worked with. And I think it was Clive Davis that wanted to sign the band at the time. He came over to the UK and said, you know what, because when we was in Germany, he was there with Whitney, and he saw us on stage and everything else. We did a show called Peter's Pop Show, went out to about 100 million people around Europe or something like it. So, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. She was so nice. She was absolutely an amazing woman. Amazing woman. So, yeah, he wanted to sign us. Didn't happen because of, there you go again, it was our manager messing up the deal again. That was a £5 million deal. £5 million deal for 5 years. It never happened. We didn't know what happened there. So, hey, what you don't have, you don't really miss as such. So that's what they say. But it's a bummer. It's not nice. It's not nice. It's not. But at least you can smile about it. You live to fight another day. So I'm going to let you ask me some questions there. You can ask me because
I could listen to you all day talk about this because hearing the backstory. What I'd like to do, Heather, before we go on with the conversation, which is like I was getting into everything you're saying, because you're telling us so much that we don't know these things. We just see you out there, singing wonderfully, looking beautiful, and we don't know these the money's not coming and people are blocking you, and the music is incredible. So what I wanted to quickly do was just play some. I wanted to start with just the tracks that you've mentioned so far. You've talked about My Tune, so I was going to quickly play that for the audience, and Spend the Night, and You're Never Too Young, and I Forgot. and then we're going to go across. You also got a solo album, and you also did two dance tracks in 2018 as well.
Actually, I did 3. I forgot there was a third one that I did with the same character.
I did them, so we're going to play them a bit later. But are you okay with that? So we're going to start with what we might do, because there's so much to get through, and I know you've got more to tell us, and I've got questions definitely. So we'll start with my tune, and we'll pick up from there. So do you want to announce, and I will play, Heather?
Hey guys, this is our biggest record, reggae, lovers rock, I should say, and this is called the Baby Making Song. This is what everybody says. We had our children. We made our children through this song. But guys, let's go back in time where music was love. It was for the love. So here we go. My tune. I hope you enjoy this one.
Okay, listening audience, I have got Heather Haywood, who is on that song, my tune, and you're so right. You know, those songs. So anyone walking around who's in their 20s, maybe 30s, you probably were born to a song like this. So,
absolutely, absolutely,
wow, and
historic moments.
You know, I want to go into the when you sort of got into the soul sound of things. So, going to play "Spend the Night." Did you want to say anything about that? I know you kind of you explained. So, shall we just go into it and then what we yeah. Okay. So, Heather, do you want to announce this song and I will play?
Okay, this is our biggest hit, 1985. Went to number 11 in the national charts. Spend the Night. The keynote.
Come around and spend the night. You know you do it right.
Okay, that's Heather Haywood. I'll tell you, I was rocking to that. It reminds me of when me and my sister, we used to go out and, you know, dance around our handbags and just have a good time. You know, honestly, it's kind of, it's like, wow, you know, speaking to Heather and all this music, and it's like the drop back to, you know, my young life, and I'm like, wow, it's amazing.
It's true, isn't it?
Yes.
It really does. It does. Even me with me, it takes me back as well. You know, it's like when you know, we spend the night even now, because we're it's like a big revival of cool notes at the moment, and everywhere you go, they're playing cool notes, and we're getting so many interviews here and there and everywhere. So yeah, we're sort of a flavour of the year, which is nice for us. It's good because of the situation that we've been put under at the moment. You know, 2020 virus, the invisible enemy that is happening at the moment. But you know, it gives us something to focus on as well. You know. Spend the night, and you know, then we had In Your Car, which was more poppy type thing, that went to number 13 in the charts as well, which was very good. Okay, that went to number 13 in the national chart, so that followed off the back of Spend the Night. So we did really well. You know, what can I say? We were at the heights where a lot of people would love to be. I think we were the only band that ever transitioned from being a lovers rock band, reggae band, to a soul band. I think this is what we've been told. No other, although other people have sang soul, but they've never done it like how we've done it and maintained or got the publicity or the fame through it. But the Cool Notes have.
Yeah, wow. And you know, it's amazing to have the band still going. I mean, how many years is it now? Because, my goodness.
Wow.
Because
it's over 30 years. Wow. 30 years. Yeah, 35 years, I think it is. I think it's like that, yeah. Like 35, 36.
Still going strong. Still going strong, my goodness.
Because I didn't, when the band was already started before I joined it anyway, because Stephen and Joe, the drummer, they created the band from school. They went to Kennington Boys School, so they created the band there. And I joined, I think it must be a couple of years after the band had started and stuff like that. So yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I mean we'll play some more tracks from that era. But what I want to talk to you about is you had a solo career with Polydor. Can you talk to us about that? How did that come about?
You know, the band, now this is the bit where the band, you know, after a while, bands weren't really sought after in the mid-80s, you know, 86, after we did our last track, Momentary Vision, in 1986, and then in 1987, due to, you know, unpopular management decision, in the early 87, you know, the band streamlined into a four-piece, which was not nice, because everybody in the band had to say who they wanted to leave, which wasn't nice. And at the time, how could you say you want this person to leave when we should always sort of say no? But unfortunately, yes, we broke up as a 7-piece band. I went to a 4-piece, and that time it was mostly groups, going out and doing, gigs and stuff, or doing PAs. So the band thing had left, and the groups came in. This was an era, 87, and then up to 88, the group thing came in. So that's why we transitioned and we became a group. And then we did a couple of songs, and I think who was it? Love Won't Let Me Wait. The producer of that, he produced a song that we did called Into the Motion. He came over from America, and he produced that one for us. Okay, my solo career happened when I decided, I need to take a break now from the Coolers, because we were moving in a different direction, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted anymore, because the band had broken up, and I thought, oh, is this going to happen to me? Am I going to be the next person out? But I thought, okay, let me take a bit of time out. Let me go and do something for myself. So I worked with this guy called Martin. I can't remember his surname now. He's a DJ, and we had I did a track with Polydor, their urban label. It was called Bad Attitude, which was a very big dance hit at the time. A lot of people didn't realise it was me, because I went under my married name of Austin, Heather Austin, not Heather Haywood. So yeah, it was Heather Austin, and it was a very big track back then. And Just What You Deserve as well. I stayed with Polydor for 2 years. I had a 2-year contract with them, and then after that, we went our separate ways. I worked with. I did lots of work actually. I used to do lots of sessions. I went to Estonia. General Levy was there. That's when the jungle is massive thing was happening at the time. So the beats came in then. So I jumped on that trail and started doing some gigs and lots of music that way. So you sort of move with the time. I was moving with the time. People wanted me to sing on their tracks and stuff. So I was going over to France. I was doing lots of different French, recording and things like that. Getting paid for it, going over there, doing full recordings in one day, and then flying back maybe the next day. So my that's how my transition to being a solo singer, doing my own thing basically. After that, I think I went back to the Cool Notes later on. Wow. Because I think Lorraine was moving on. She would want to do something else. So coming back to the 90s now, I came back. And then it was me, Steve, JC, that started to work. So we went back and forth a little bit. That was like my home, the Cool Notes. I didn't actually leave. I left in body, but I didn't leave in mind when I first left them to do my own solo career. They weren't happy at the time, but I left actually. They didn't think I was going to do it. But I came back anyway in the 90s, and we started recording. Although we didn't do a lot, we didn't put out a lot of music. We did a lot of work over in Germany and places, Holland, I think it was. We did like mini tours and stuff over there, which was really good. And then I started to do my own thing yet again with my own album. And Joe, the drummer, he had a studio at home, because Joe left the band when I first joined because he was ill. He got ill. He was 18 at the time. So he didn't actually enjoy the fullness of the success of the Cool Notes. So we had another drummer at the time who stepped in. But he, Joe's a survivor. He should have passed away like 30 odd years ago, because what he had was a rare disease, whatever it was. But he survived it because music was his love, and music kept him going. He's still here, and he's working with us again. But he was the one that I did my album with. It was Joe and JD. JD, he passed away a couple of years back from cancer, the male cancer. This is what I call it. But yeah, he passed away. But you know, we dedicated our album and stuff to him because he helped to work on it as well. But with Joe, yeah, the album, I must say, the one track we had on there, Inner Vision, it's called Inner Vision. At the time, it was the 2012 Olympics, and Inner Vision was the perfect song that would have worked for the Olympics. We sent the track over to Sebastian Coe, or Lord Coe, and he loved the track at the time, and he said this would be perfect for the opening of the Olympics at the time. So he wanted us to send it to Universal Records. He gave us the person's name to send, but unfortunately, by the time they received it, they'd already chosen the song several different little songs that they had at the time. So yeah, we didn't actually get it. But you know, although the album, it was my first solo album, it did what it did. I think it did pretty good because we had it on CD Baby, so we sold it within, you know, for ourselves, and then it went straight on to the other platforms as well. So yeah, it didn't do too bad. It didn't do too bad for, you know, for a solo album.
Wow, Heather. Yeah, I'm just taking all that in, and you know, I'm just so glad that you actually came back to the Cool Notes as well, and that you got to do your solo album. And we are going to play tracks. We are actually going to play that Inner Vision, and also you did a Bob Marley's Waiting in Vain and the Nation's Best of My Love.
Totally different.
We'll be playing those as well. But I just have to do a shout out because people are really excited. I have to tell you what happened when I put your flyer out, you know, to promote that you was coming on the show. People were like sharing it and like really. And someone, Mr. Tony Jazz, said he'd gone to your.
I know, I read it on your thing. I read it.
Oh, did you read it? Oh my god!
The Hacienda in Manchester. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So shout out to Tony Jazz. I'm sure he's listening. And
hey Tony, how you doing?
And we've got Lyndon here. Lyndon is like loving the music. We're gonna have to play more music because people are asking for more music. And he likes the track, but we haven't got. Unfortunately, we don't have those two, but. I will get there. I had those before, but I lost a chunk of my music on my, especially particularly my reggae music. So he wants to hear. I got to let him know, and I will always love you. That's what you were. Yeah. So can you do a couple of bars? Can you do a couple of bars for us?
I will. I know that you love me, and I know that you care. I will always love you forever and a day. I know that there must be reasons for our love, and I know that we shall be forever ever in love. Everybody now. I will always love you, baby. I will always care for you. And then we go, I've got to let it know. I've got to let it know. I've got to let it know. I've got to let it know, no. My man is the best there is. My man is so cool. There we go.
My goodness, thank you. That's awesome. So, Lyndon, those are the two songs. Also, we've got Jeanette all the way in Dubai listening. She was posting today as well, and she's like saying she's listening now and saying she's loving the song, loving the interview. But honestly, Heather, you just got me. You got me back in time, and I'm just feeling so good. I'm like, oh my god, I'm losing myself. But,
it's nice to go back. It's nice to go back.
It is, and we are going to come forward as well. So because I've got those two 2018 tracks, and I've got the Inner Visions. So we are going to play those. Let me just see. I wanted to ask you. Was there one more question? Oh, I think what we'll do. Let's play some music. So shall we go to Inner Vision, because you just spoke about that, and then we'll go back to In Your Car. And I forgot. You know, you're never too young. Yeah. So we're going to start. Yeah. So if you want to introduce Inner Vision, and we are going to bring in Waiting in Vain and Best of My Love, because you've done a really lovely version of both those songs as well.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, one of my favourite songs. Yeah.
Okay, so
this is from my album Inner Vision, and this track is called Inner Vision. Enjoy.
Wondering how I get through this tough and lonely years. Oh, had so many dreams, thought they'd all come true. That was then, oh, that was then. And now I see clear. Feel the vision, see the vision, I hear it's near, standing here, you see my vision, I know my vision, I hear it's near, standing there. With no shadows behind me, time seemed long to get here. Now I've made it through the hard times, and I can say my battle is a one. My battle is a one. My battle is a one. Oh, my battle is a one.
Yeah. You know that your vision's clear, and I can tell that your vision's near. Yeah, and I've seen what you've been through. Pain and strife in your life, cast shadows to say, cause the past what you're into. Can't let nobody hold you back or slow you down, cause God gave you the mission to see your vision. When he opened up them clouds, and now you're on the path to your dreams. So you walk with the flow with the streams, and you can see your goals in the distance. But the road is straight, no time to look back on what could have been and should have been. You chose your fate, and I've got faith that you know your way. And don't let nothing lead you astray. Just have faith and pray, cause you know you wait for the day when you can openly say, I've seen my visions come true. As long as the sky is blue and the clouds are white, you can always see your visions through and stand and say,
I feel the vision, I see the vision, I hear it's near, standing there. I see my vision, I know my vision, I hear it's near, standing there.
Battle is won. My vision, your vision. Battle is won. I can see your vision through the eyes of me. Inner vision. And I'll be standing right at the end of your vision. Side by side. Dreams come true. My vision, your vision, the battle is won. In a vision.
I feel the vision, see the vision, I hear it's near, standing here. You see my vision, I know my vision, I hear it's near, standing there.
Standing there. see it. Within distant. Battle is over. In a vision.
Wow. Heather, that was Inner Vision by Heather. And that's lovely. And so that kind of gives me a feel of spirituality and, dreaming, making your dreams come true.
Absolutely.
And, so what was the inspiration behind that? Was that because you were going solo and you were, what was the inspiration?
I tried to be as positive as possible. I wrote that track, and when I wrote it, I was thinking about everything that was going on in life, and and where I want to be as a person. And that track, just writing it, and a friend of mine, Teresa, she helped do the backing vocals on it. She said to me, "Wow, that's a powerful song." She said, "You don't know what you've written." She said, "It's so powerful." She said, I said, "Yeah." She said, "It's nearly a gospel track without being gospel." I said, "It's just me finding myself. It's just how I think, basically. I'm a very positive type person. I like to remain positive. I always think that for every negative, for every negative there's a positive, and you must always turn your negatives into a positive. And that's me. People often wonder. On my Facebook thread, I always put a Facebook status up every day, trying to G people up. Especially now at the moment where we all need a little lift every day. Try to keep us, the hope. We've all had a bad hit. Especially musicians. We musicians have had the worst hit. So and we're still not out of it yet. Music, the music industry is on its feet at the moment. Well, not on its feet; it's on its knees at the moment. And out of every other business, we have been hit the worst. And everybody else is coming back, but we are still not back. Still not back. Yeah.
This is what I'm hearing from, artists that, this year has been a really not a very good year in terms of, because everything is closed down in the music.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely. You can't do... I managed to do a social distancing festival back in September. It was really nice, but it was a bit strange because social distancing, you have to remain in your pod. You have security on, 3 or 4 different types of security on at the venue. And every time you moved out your pod and you went near somebody else who had 6 in their bubble already, you'd get told you need to go back or walk somewhere else. Otherwise, they would shut the whole festival down. So it was a strange thing. It was strange, but it was lovely to be back out. But it's been a hard one for us. I'm hoping that next year things are going to be. I'm hoping next year is going to be the year.
Well, I was going to mention that you were bringing out your album with Cool Notes this year, but that's going to be next year. So. And I know you've written a track that a solo track that is going to go on that album. Can you talk to us a little bit about what we can expect?
We've written several tracks on the album. Me, Joe, and Stephen. We've collaborated as the Cool Notes. So the other, I think the track you're talking about, this is going to be with another French company that I'm working with. But the Cool Notes album is predominantly going to be us. The Cool Notes writing all of our own music, basically, which we've done about 6 or 7 already. Oh, wow. It's just that we haven't been in the studio to finish it off, but, we've got Joe at home working on the guitars, as we speak, and then Stephen at his house in the studio working on new tracks, so that when it's time for me to go in, I'll just go in and do the vocals, backing vocals and main vocals and stuff like that. So we've got a lot of work, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to get it finished by maybe, it might not be spring, it might be more like summer now because the way things are going. So, but yeah, we're hoping for the best anyway. Hoping for the best.
Oh, wow. You know, when you, as you mentioned, this band has been together for 30 years. You must be like family. It must be like family now. It must be, you know, an amazing experience to have the people that started with you still working.
Well, Stephen's like my brother, my big brother. That's what he reminds me of. We're like brother and sister. We argue, we fuss, we fight, but we still get on. And there's Joe, who went away from the band. You know, he wasn't a main player in the band after he got ill, but now he's back to, you know, to do this album. This is like a penultimate album in our lives. You know, it's going to be. And so he's there to fulfill the history. He started the band, and he's going to stay right to the end of, you know, the life of the band. So this is why, you know, it's important for him to be a part of what we're doing. And, you know, he started the band. So, yeah, why not?
That's awesome. Heather, I want to, because I'm worried about time. I don't know how long we've got you here for. But
no, I'm fine.
Oh,
yeah.
Good. So I want to you to talk about the Waiting in Vain. So we're going to play that next. What made you choose this song? Well, I can imagine, but, you know, in your words, what was it? What was it about this song that really touched
Bob
you?
Marley. This is one of my many people's favourite songs. You know, that's by Bob Marley, but you know, it's had that lovers rock feel to it. It's just it's everything that, you know, if you listen to it lyrically, and it's just the feel of the song. It's what Bob Marley's talking about in the track itself, and for me, it sort of touched my heart. And I always said, if I'm going to do a song, that's going to be the one that I'm going to do. But we switched it around a little bit. It's a bit long. You might not have to play the whole thing. It's a bit too long for you to play the whole thing.
Yeah,
but
a portion of it. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But it starts off very sort of slowish, you know, very arty, and then it moves into a little, you know, it moves up. And let's give them a little taste of what it moves up into.
Okay. So so if you announce again, and we are going to go back to some of the older cool notes as well, but I just want to bring this one, and then we're going to bring in the emotion song as well. But if you announce, I will play.
All right, here's my version, my attempt of doing a Bob Marley song my way. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. Waiting in Vain.
Waiting in vain. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait in vain. I don't want to wait. From the very first time I rest my eyes on you, my heart said follow through. Cause the way it feels is so fine. So don't you treat me like a puppet on a string. I know how to do my thing. Don't you talk to me if you think that I'm dumb. You're not dumb. I wanna know when you're gonna come. Don't wanna wait in vain. I don't wanna wait. The summer is here, and I'm still waiting there. Winter is here, and I'm still waiting there. it feasible for I to know some more. In life I know there's lots of grief, but your love is my relief. Tears in my eyes burn, tears in my eyes burn, while I'm waiting for my turn. 'Cause I don't wanna wait in vain. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait in vain. I don't wanna I don't wanna wait in vain. I don't wanna wait in vain. I don't wanna wait in vain. No, no. I don't wanna wait in vain. It's been long years since you've been home. I don't wanna wait in vain. I'm still waiting. Winter is here, and I'm still waiting.
Wow. That is Waiting in Vain by Heather Haywood. I love the vocals and the harmonies and the different sounds, and you just, it's so beautiful. So beautiful.
Very dreamy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, it just, you can hear the love that you have for the song.
But the thing is, you because I'm not Bob Marley, and I don't want anybody to say, you're remaking somebody's song exactly the same. We just put a little twist on it, my way, what I wanted, and put the reggae flick in, and then build it up, and sort of broke it down again, and that's how we do it.
I love that. That was just it just gets you into a nice vibe.
Absolutely.
Loving that. Oh my goodness. What I want to do is you also did another amazing track, Best of My Love.
Absolutely.
What made you choose Best of My Love?
Because when I do gigs, I've always loved the emotions, and I went to a singers thing once, one of these places where a lot of people get up and sing, and I did this down in Covent Garden, and I went, and a friend of mine took me there and said, "Have you ever done any of these sort of places?" So I said, "No, I don't hang out in these sort of places." Anyway, I went there. And he said to me, do you want to do a song? I said, not really, because I didn't think I was going to get picked. Anyway, he said, if you do want to do a song, what song would you do? So I said to him, Best of My Love. He said, why? I said, because it's one of my favourite emotion songs. And you have to be able to sing this song. You have to be able to sing that song. So he said, okay. So I got up and I sang it. And so the guy who was doing the comparing night, he said to me afterwards, are you one of the emotions? Where'd you come from? Because I've never met him before. He said, are you American? So I said, no, I'm British. He said, oh my gosh, you sound like the Americans. So I thought, if I'm going to do a song, this is going to be the song I'm going to do as a cover version. That'd be one of the other songs I do as a cover version. And it's Best of My Love.
And with that, we are going to play Best of My Love.
By
Heather Haywood, and I'm getting really nice comments about your Waiting in Vain. They love the rendition that you did.
Doesn't take much to make me happy. Can't you make me smile? Make me smile. Never will I feel discouraged. 'Cause I love no mystery. Demonstrating love and affection that you give so openly, yeah. I like the way you make me feel about you, baby. For the whole wide world to see. Whoa, whoa. You got the best of my love. Whoa, whoa. You got the best of my love. Whoa, whoa. You got the best of my love. Whoa, whoa. You got the best of my love. Going in and out of changes. Gotta come around each day. My life has a better meaning. Love has kissed me in a beautiful way. And my life.
If you want it, you got it. If you want it, you got it.
You got the best of my love, whoa, whoa. You got the best of my love, whoa, whoa. You got the best of my love, whoa, whoa. You got the best of my love. Demonstrating sweet love and affection that you give so openly, yeah. The way you make me feel about you can't explain it. Want the whole wide world to see. Oh, and I thought you always needed my love, my love.
I rise him up when he goes down. I make him come around. My heart pounding hard loud. You can hear the sound. Boom, boom. Is the sound when we come together. So much of love all around in the ground. I got his heart. Oh yeah, it's got mine. Two hearts meant to be. No way can decline. We have our ups and downs, but we make it through. Ain't that what true lovers do? Oh yeah. Best of me, best of you, best of who? I know he's my boo. He's my boo. Thank the Lord every day. Yeah, I pray. We'll be together always. That's what I say. Hey, he's my lover. He's my buddy. He's my everything. He makes my heart sing. Ding-a-ling. So this is to you. This I said. Best of my love till the very end.
My love, oh yeah. You got the best of my love, best of my love. Oh, oh, best of my, you got the best of my love. Oh, oh, you got the best of my love. Oh, my love, oh yeah, best of my love, best of my love, best of my love.
Wow. Oh my God, Eva, that was awesome. I love
Would
it.
you believe it? I did all the harmonies on that track, all the high ones.
Wow, really,
Yeah.
really enjoy that. It's such a, such a nice upbeat, and again, you did such a great, rendition of the song. And I'm already seeing Tex screaming screaming about your rendition. So lovely, because I wanted to obviously bring in tracks that a lot of people kind of knew from the past, and we will go back to some of those, but I also wanted people to see what you do as a solo artist. What talk to us about, obviously I know you love the band and the band is family for you. What is it like when you get to do projects like these on your own?
Yeah, it's something different because you're exploring your own person, basically. With the band, I'm working with getting the cool note sound, keeping that cool note sound. But when I come out of the box, I can find who I am. And I like to scream. In the cool notes, you don't do too much screaming. You just got to keep it mellow and stuff like that. But now on some of the tracks, we'll be doing some screaming because I like to do a bit of screaming. I like to sing. I'm the sort of person that a singer sings. A Patti LaBelle, a Shaka Khan, you sing, and that's what I call singing. So, and I like to be able to open my mouth, like you see the emotion song. I like to sing, and for me, that's singing. That's singing. It's get my tonsils going.
Oh wow! So, before we go back to some of the earlier cool notes, I also really liked what you did in 2018 with the dance. Give It Up.
Give It Up.
What made you? What was behind that?
It was a French producer that contacted me via Facebook and said to me, because he's been a big fan he was a big fan of the cool notes, and he said to me, I've got some tracks I would like you to. I wonder if you'd like to collaborate with me. So I said, that would be nice, because at the moment, at the time, although the cool notes was doing stuff, we weren't doing too much. We weren't too busy. So I said, yeah, of course, I'd love to be able to do something with you. And so out of that, it came, Give It Up and Party Tonight, and another one that I did as well. And those two tracks itself put me on the map right the way around the world as a major player. We had some of the biggest DJs, like in Canada. There's one DJ in Canada that's so well known. That was being played wherever he was playing that. He was hammering that. Plus, Japan, Brazil. I was getting people from Brazil, fans from Brazil, messaging me. I had the Japanese, I had the Australians, I had, right the way around the world. It was really crazy. But the only thing, we didn't release it, although it's you can get it on iTunes and stuff like that. We didn't really do much in this country. We did all for Europe, and mostly for Europe.
Okay, so without any further ado, we are going. Yeah, do you want to announce? Go ahead, Heather. Yeah.
Right. This was my solo track with a French producer, Nikki B. This one's called Give It Up. It's very cool notey sounding. So please enjoy.
love the sound as well, and I love that you were able to bring that sound. And I don't know why didn't we hear it here in the UK?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the guys promoted. They didn't promote it over here. They promoted it more for the other European countries, and but although it has been played here quite a few times. There's some DJs that even this from this year they've been playing it as well. It's never too late to play a song, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really nice song. It's a fun song because I went over to France about a year back, and I did on my own, and I did these songs over there for a little show that they put on. It was meant to be for Nikki B, the actual producer, but I ended up doing quite a few cool note tracks as well at the same time. But it was massive. It was crazy. The place was just so rammed. A massive big venue over there. So yeah, it was really a really nice time that I had. No, they really take the French love cool notes. Well, even the Dutch as well. So they're quite big in those countries. So anytime we're ready to release anything, right now they're really waiting with bated breath for the cool notes new tracks, and they are good, by the way. I can tell you they are. I think people will be very surprised as to what we're doing as well.
I think people are expecting and knowing that it's going to be fabulous, amazing. Yeah. We have got another 2018 track for you on here, which is Party Tonight.
Oh yeah, that's
another
really
great sound. Yeah. So again, that was a feel good. It's a feel good sound.
I think as well the producer, because he loves the cool notes so much, he's trying to piece together things that the cool notes, what he thought the cool notes would do, and he sort of thought, oh, this would be nice, and it's very cool note sounding, so that's why he sort of did it this way.
Yeah. So we're going to play that track, and then we're going to come back and talk a bit more. Then we're going to play some more from Phil as well.
All right.
So again, Party Tonight. So
get ready, party tonight. Yeah.
Get up and move.
That's right. Get up and boogie. What are you going to do?
partying tonight with Heather Haywood. Our special guest for the hour. Oh my goodness. Love that sound, and it just, again, it's just such a nice, happy, wholesome. What I like is that, what I love with the Cool Notes, she was singing songs about love and what's going on, but it's you can listen to it with everybody. You don't have to kind of like, we can't play this around the children, or we can't play this around the elders or what have you. So but then it's got a really nice sound to it as well, and the harmonies and the voice, and lovely.
Wow. It is. Feel good music, that's what we call it. Feel good music. That's what we need, though, don't we?
Especially with this year as well.
Yes. Tell me about it. It's just been one bad year. But in the midst of being bad, I was approached by another French producer to do a track. I have a track there since June, July, and I said, oh dear, I wasn't quite sure what to write on it and stuff. So in the end, he kept emailing me and saying to me, have you done the song yet? And I kept saying, yes, I have. Yes, I've started it, which I haven't, but I was forced to do it, because as soon as I said that last bit, yes, I have, I thought, what does this song remind me of? And then I thought, okay, it reminds me of this. So I wrote the track, and it's amazing. I think they are so pleased with it. It's going to be a very big hit for them. It's going to be on the album, their album, but it's going to be Heather from the Cool Notes. So it's going to be featuring Heather from the Cool Notes. It's going to be a very, very big track. If it's done properly, they will have a massive track on their hand.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's coming out next year, is that right?
I think that their album's coming out next year. So that track is called Positively Happy. That's going to be, and you can hear it's a feel-good track again, Positively Happy. So
awesome. Heather has achieved so many goals. Just talking about the 30 years of music, but you have another goal which you also have achieved. You're presenter. You always wanted to be on the radio as a presenter.
Yes.
Talk to us.
Well, I want to be on stage. I want to go into theatre, because I started in theatre at school when I do the school plays and stuff. But my main goal, I've always wanted to be on radio and present. I don't want to be a DJ, because I'm not a DJ. I'm a singer. First and foremost,
I'm a presenter. I like to interview people. That's not But it's called Lunch with the Cool Notes. So
Lunch with the Cool Notes, our show. Are we allowed to? I'm not going to mention the radio station, but people, if they know my Facebook, they'll see me putting up stuff about the radio station. But we managed to. It was Morgan Khan's baby, and people that know Morgan Khan know where he's coming from, because he goes back a long way with Steve Walsh and all those guys back in the day. And he's still here, and this is his radio station in Essex in Southend-on-Sea, and it was launched at the 1st of August, and it was him and Andy Smith. Andy Smith is one of the directors. Morgan owns it. That asked, he said to me, would we like to have a spot on the radio? He wanted us to do 2 days, but we couldn't commit to the 2 days because of doing the album and the work as well. So we said we'll do 1 day and see how it goes, which is the Tuesday. It's called Lunch with the Cool Notes, and we've been doing it for the past 3 months or so, and it's been really lovely. It's been really good.
Wow, that's so awesome, Heather. I'm so happy for you. And you just mentioned there, and I didn't know about that, the acting. So is that something you're looking at doing as well?
I would love to do something on stage. I would love to even just walk on the stage and say hi, and then go back. No, that's one of my dreams. I'm so far, all the things that I've wanted to do, and I am actually doing now. They say that, for me, there's hope in everything. And this year has given me hope, because it's opened up different avenues for me. So where I'm not singing, I'm a presenter on a radio station, and I'm playing music that people love and keeping people happy. Yes. So, so it's another dream. There's other ways there's other avenues that we can move to. If we can't do the things that we normally do, then we have to sort of try to reinvent ourselves a little bit until things get better.
Absolutely, that's awesome. And like you said, it is so nice to be able to kind of, play music and talk to people and have people at home feeling good. And I'm sure, and from what I've been reading on the text, people are feeling good listening to you and your music and, all that you're doing. And going back, talking about goals and setting goals and achieving them, you've obviously achieved and set so many goals. And what would you say to anybody, because we are in the COVID season, and some people have lost loved ones, people have lost jobs, businesses, maybe relationships. What would you say to anybody who may be going through stuff, or anyone who's got a dream but have given up on that dream for whatever reason? Because, like you said, you're so bubbly, so positive. You look at the silver lining and not the cloud. What would you say to them, and what has been great for you? What have you used to keep yourself motivated, inspired and empowered?
Well, I'll give you a scenario, because I've got a real scenario. My daughter, she was working as a business travel consultant for corporate companies and stuff like that, and she lost her job during this pandemic. They made her redundant. But I said to her, well, you know what, you need to think out of the box now and do something different. So what she's gone on to do, she's now starting her own business, corporate company, so that because she's got the knowledge, and she has lots of clients that will come on board with her, from her old workplace where she used to work. Plus as well, it's not only her, it's going to be it's for a major company, but she's just like one of the little pockets in there. So she's, latched herself onto a little avenue. So, never give up. You can still have a dream, but you can try and make that dream your own dream this time. If you've got the willpower and you've got, somebody around you that can help you to get that dream started, you just need a bit of positivity in your life, and you need somebody that believes in you. But you've also got to believe in yourself, because no matter how much people believe in you, it's not going to build your dream for you. You've got to believe that you can do it. So with my daughter, we've been behind her. My other daughters, we've been behind her. So we've been saying to her, you can do it. You've got the knowledge and you've got the chat. So you know how to. So she started up. She's got her website. She's now hoping, obviously, to get moving very shortly. So, so that's her dream. That's coming true. So I'm saying never give up. And even if you can't do the things that you were doing before, there is a niche. Find a new, get a new niche. Find something that you want to do, something that you believe in, because we've been doing things for other people, never for ourselves. So we need to do things for ourselves now. And, you can do this, but like I say, you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to have that willpower. I'm not going to say money sometimes, but money doesn't always doesn't build a dream. You have to start that dream off yourself, and there's ways of doing these things without having to outlay money. You have to start the process, because you can always get business loans. They allow you business loans, startup loans and stuff like that. So you can, I think a lot of people have, found their way into doing little businesses, because this is the right time to start your own business right now, because once things start moving, you will move with the times. And you tend to, any new businesses that started when things have been bad always tend to achieve a lot for themselves.
Wow, that is such powerful advice, Heather, because you're so right. If you look back in time, all the people that were building businesses in the depression and the terrible times when everything had, they were the ones who, because they positioned themselves. So when everything got back on track, they were already there waiting, and, with the businesses and what have you. And, as you said with your daughter, it's about building relationships. She built powerful relationships in the job. Yeah. And now she can take those relationships with her And that's
absolutely.
why it's always so good to, like my gran would always say, live well with people and, get on with people. And, so it's good to have those relationships that are going to, be there that you can work with. But that's
you
such
just
great
need support.
advice.
People need support, even people that you don't know. That's why sometimes, I do my daily statuses. It's only because I'm trying to support people out there, because I know what a lot of people are going through. I hear it all the time. So I'll put something up that rings, to in somebody's mind and say, you know what, you just done me a favor. I was thinking blah, 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 whatever, and I wasn't going to do it, but you've now made me do something I didn't think I was going to do. So, it's just about helping others, giving people a daily lift, if there's such a thing. But I think we all need a lift. Even me at times, I could get in my little mood, but I lift myself out of it. I try to lift myself out of it. So smile a day.
Oh wow! What we're going to do? We are going to play "You're Never Too Young." Cool notes. And we're going to come back and talk some more. And obviously you can let people know how they can get hold of you and where's everything. And so we're going back in time again. Do you want to go ahead and say, please, Heather?
Hey, this one is this was the main soul song that we came out with, that went to number 42 in the national charts. Never Too Young, and this is what put us on the map.
Heather, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, yeah, because I want to try and squeeze in at least 2 more songs before we
Oh.
wrap up. But Heather, you spoke at the beginning about your dad and, the fear of getting into the band. What's your dad say now? What did he say when it all came together and, he saw your success?
My dad, he was very proud. He was very proud, and he used to say, when he used to see me on Top of the Pops or play things like that, or different shows on TV, he said, "That's my daughter." Oh. And his friends would say, "No, she's not." He said, "Yes, she is. Look, I've got the record to show you." So yeah, he was very proud. Although he still would have preferred. I did go to university in the end, by the way, but later on in life, because I thought, you know what. Music has not got to be the only option in life. You have to have something else to, because especially nowadays, that music shouldn't be the only thing. You can be a singer, but you need to have something else to, just in case anything happens. Like so yeah.
That's really smart. And you just mentioned about your dad, showing your albums. How many? You did quite a few albums. How many albums?
We did a couple of albums. We've done, the Corner's only done a couple of albums, but we've had like remixes and stuff of the old, of some of the tracks, and, other tracks added to albums. So we've had quite a few albums, but mainly I think it's two main albums. But then, if we look at the other albums that were remixed and done in other countries, so there must be quite a few albums going around the world at the moment.
Wow. So Heather, how can people get in touch with you? I know you're on Facebook and various. How can people get in touch? Or get hold of your music?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter as well. It's all Heather Haywood. So you can hit me up on either of those platforms, or that's the main place where you can actually get me. Or on the Cool Notes, if you go to the Cool Notes, www.thecoolnotes.co.uk, you'll find us on there as well. And that's the main platforms that you're going to see me. Yeah, so that's it. And plus as well, can I just say, next year we've got some shows. We're doing some shows with the New Jersey Connection. Eddie Saunders, and he's actually listening from New Jersey. So I just checked my Facebook because he's having a listening. So hi Eddie. So so we're going to be doing quite a few shows of him. We got one in London. Not sure the venue yet properly. I have an idea, but I can't really say at the moment because we're not sure what's happening with this COVID stuff at the moment. But we've got Birmingham, we've got London, we've got Manchester, I think Guildford as well. So there's quite a few shows coming up. And then there's other things that I'm doing as well, going to be later down in the year, going to be over in a massive big place in Camden that the Cool Notes are going to be doing some live shows as well. But I think next year is going to be quite full on because we've been offered quite a lot of work, so, a lot of festivals and lots of different things that we're going to be doing.
Wow, that's so awesome! I'm so happy for you as well.
Yeah.
And we just played you. We just played You Never Too Young. What's your children? We just asked about your parents. What about your children? How what do they think of their mum's success and what you've achieved? Because obviously, I can imagine. What is it like for them?
My son, the track you played, Inner Visions, he was the one that was rapping on the back of that. That was my son.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's my son.
Talent is there. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And my daughter, she did some backing vocals on Waiting in Vain. One of my daughters, she did. My other daughter, she loves Erykah Badu, and she has a very similar vocal to Erykah Badu, but she doesn't want to sing. But my other daughter, Michaela, she sounds very much like me. We remade I Will Always Love You, and she sang it. And I did a little bit on it. And when I sent it to Stephen, he said, "That's not Michaela, that's you singing it." I said, "No, it's Michaela singing that." He goes, "Oh my gosh, it's like your voice yet again." So yeah, my children are very musical, and they've always loved things that I've I used to bring them out on my gigs anyway. I never left them at home. They used to come on every gig. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is you mentioned earlier on in your car, you said that came after
Spend the Night.
Yeah. So we're going to play that, and we will come back and start wrapping up. But do you want to announce?
This is In Your Car. In Your Car. This went to number 13 in the national charts. It was a big hit for us, and it was one of our more poppy type tracks, but it was a fun track. So here we go. Enjoy. Your car.
In Your Car, and we have Heather Haywood. Oh my goodness! Wow, Heather. I mean, my goodness, so many wonderful songs. Such an amazing voice. Lovely. Personality and energy that you've brought to us. I just feel so happy with your presence with us.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Heather, what does where do you see you, the cool notes, you doing, your solo things as well? Where do you see yourself in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
Let's hope that I see things we're going to be on a major scale again next year. That's how it's planning out. It's panning out at the moment. Maybe I'll do another album, solo album. But the Cool Notes, obviously, we're going to be working very hard, doing what we're doing. You know, our album. You never know, we might do another album after that as well. Wow. Because it will be. I reckon there's going to be great demand for a second album after that. And then obviously I'll do my own. I'll be working with other people as well, though. So I've already got other people that want to work with me as well, doing other stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future. You know, I'm taking it a day at a time. That's about all you can do at the moment. But the future's looking bright. The future's looking bright, and you're never too old to do. You know, to live your dream. You're never too old to live your dream. You know, the song says you're never too young, but you're never too old.
That. Yes, so true. Yeah. Because you know that is the thing. You know, people sometimes think, oh, when people are young, they think, oh, I'm too young, and then you know, as you get older, you think, oh, you know, have I passed? You know, has everything passed me by? But you know, I love that you say that. It's so important to know that once you are willing and you're breathing and you're here, you can make it happen. My goodness.
Well, there's people going to university in their 80s.
Yes, I've seen, and I'm thinking, what a good thing to do. You've got all the time in the world at that age, and you know you're ready. You know you can do anything you want. Why does it have to be, you know, the end? What, you know, it doesn't make sense.
You see, I come from a family of academics. All my brothers are professors and stuff like that. In economics, one in economics, they're all in mathematics. Their children, mathematics, or they're you know, they're doing marketing or engineers. My nephew's he got a first in aerospace engineering, and he's in Kenya at the moment. So he's doing all. So I've got a family who build on dreams, basically. So, and that's what we should be doing for ourselves as well, building our dreams for our kids. Yes. You know, our kids are out there at the moment, got no dreams. Some of them got no dreams for themselves. And you know, our children are dying before 25, so we need to lift them out of whatever's going on in their heads and try and bring them back into reality.
I love that. You're so right, and it's so, you know, it is sad when you see the young, you know, what's happening. There's amazing things happening for young people, and there's amazing young people, but you know, even if it's just one child, you know, caught up in the wrong place and or lost sight of the dream. That is one too many. So I totally agree with you. And
we just got to lift them. We just got to lift them. I'd like for next year to be, you know, we hear different things rather than we're hearing, you know, our kids killing each other and stuff like that, our young men killing it themselves. I'd like to hear that they're pushing the knives down and getting and get their future. They're future leaders. They just don't know it. They just don't know it.
Very much.
You know,
yes,
they're all future leaders, but they just haven't got the role models around them to help them. They've got some of them, but there's not enough. There's not enough.
Yeah, but with what you're doing, you are a role model. And you know what I'd ask you? What is the ingredient? What is the thing that keeps a band, a successful band like you know, like Cool Notes, together?
Well,
after
there's only a few of us. There's only a few of us because, you know, when we broke up, it was sort of a bad break because the other guys didn't forgive the band, you know, the breakup. So that's why I said there's only me, Steve, and Joe. I mean, we have reached out to Art, the others, if they would like to come on board and do anything. But because Peter Lee, he's working with another band already, so he's got his own thing. Right. Ian, he was doing gospel at the time, but I'm not sure. We were thinking of, you know, we did speak to him about maybe coming and doing something. We just left that a bit open at the moment. The drummer, because Joe's a drummer already, we've got Joe there. So, but but hey, you know, we can only do what we can do. With the Cool Notes, it's a brand, basically.
We're glad that the Cool Notes are still there, and
we're still going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to do before we wrap up this segment of the show, Heather, is I'd like you to choose another song from your your Inner Vision album.
Ooh.
What would you like? What would you like to play? What do you think would really sort of wrap up the interview?
Amazing! I can't even think what's on the album.
Yeah.
What's on the album?
All right. Okay, I'll let you know. So, Easy Loving, 7 days in a week, I think it says. Baby Go Deep, My Baby, Before I Cry, Got That Feeling, Just in Time, Care of My Heart, Mellow Mood.
Oh, this
we played three already. We played three.
Care of My Heart is a very dance track, so maybe do that one.
Okay,
that's a very, very dance track.
So you want to do a dance off to
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so...
nothing too slow. I think we need to end it with a sort of a high vibe.
Oh, bless you. So, Heather, before we play, what would you like to say to the listening audience? How would you like to, what would you like to leave with?
I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. And those that remember us from back in the day, thank you for still remembering us and, and loving our music. And we've got some special stuff coming out next year. So, hang on in there. And what I can say is bless you guys and thank you so much. Stay well, stay safe, build your dreams, build your children's futures and stuff like that. Come out of this 2020 with a different frame of mind. That's all I can say. And be happy. Main thing is that we need to be happy.
Oh, that's so beautiful and so true. I love that, be happy, because that's what every human spirit, every human heart wants, really, is to be happy. Oh,
absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. We need to be happy.
Wow.
Yeah.
This has been a phenomenal, and thanks to Carl for making this happen, because, it's just been amazing to, to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Heather.
Carl.
Yes. Thank you, Carl. And Heather, I just wish you continued success, and if you can ever come back on, we'd love to have you. And
love to be back on. Love to come on.
Yeah, wishing you all the success with your lunch with the Cool Notes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And the music and the album that's coming, and definitely we'll be getting that. And thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the interview, and thank you. What a lovely personality you have. Thank you so much.
That's what I say about you. Heather, can you introduce Care of My Heart? And then I will play. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Right, this is Care of My Heart, and it's a very nice track written by Mel Glynn. This is on my album. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a very upbeat track, so enjoy. This is the last one from me. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much, Imani, for inviting me on your show.
Care of my heart. I charge you with the care of my heart. Ooh, I charge you with the care of my heart. Baby, I charge you with the care of my heart. I charge you with the care of my heart. Why do you hurt me when all you have to do is stop and think? And I don't believe a word when you say you don't understand me, and you hide away for days without a word to say. And that's why I charge you with the care of my heart. Ooh, I charge you with the care of my heart. Baby, I charge you with the care of my heart. Ooh, I charge you with the care of my heart. This fight is old news. my heart.